Hi. I guess lockdown was a chance to do lots of recipe videos, which I spectacularly haven't done because I wasn't really thinking. But we're still in lockdown, so here's a recipe. And it is my mushroom soup recipe. Now this is one of the few one of the few recipes I can honestly say hasn't been, shall we say, borrowed from someone else or built upon someone else's. It's just the recipe I've come up with out of my own mind, vaguely knowing how to cook or some basic cooking principles. And again, this channel's meant to be cooking for bachelors, so I'm going to make a big batch and keep it in the fridge, or if you like, you could freeze it, and eat it throughout the week. And it's very economical. It's very, very easy. And it's very, very tasty, so, well, I like it anyway, so, what could be wrong with that? And another good thing about this recipe is I can eat it on my non-meat days. I try and have 2 non-meat days in the week. The only animal product in this is the semi-skimmed milk. And throughout this recipe, you can increase and decrease the ingredients, as you like, if you wanted to make it a lot richer. And you're not worried about your waistline like I am. You could use cream to make it a lot richer. You could add various herbs and spices, but here's the ingredients anyway. I only use semi-skimmed milk, some ordinary olive oil. You don't need the expensive extra virgin stuff, that's nonsense. Lemon, I'm going to add some lemon juice, an onion. A couple of cloves of garlic, again you can add as much or leave it out altogether if you want, or indeed add other herbs and spices to this recipe as we go along, depending on what you personally like. I like it like this. This is sort of quite pure to me. A vegetable stock cube. A veggie stock cube. Again, no animal products. Mushrooms from the market. The onion, the lemon, not the garlic actually, but the mushrooms, the onion, and the lemon all came to the local market, so all cheap, good value. And this is a low-cost recipe that is very, very tasty, so, and dead simple. So, what's not to like? Okay, let's go to stage 1. Okay, here's stage 1. Very, very simple. We've got the mushrooms and the onion all chopped up, and we're going to fry it off. Now, it's an important thing to note at this stage, we really don't want these onions to brown. We just want to soften them. So I've got the thing gummy turned up to 4 out of 6. The plate turned up to setting 4 out of 6. So it's not terribly hot. It's olive oil anyway, to begin with. So we're simply going to add first the mushrooms. Then the onion. Then we're going to stir it all around. And we're going to turn it down straight away, because this isn't a particularly complicated recipe, but it does take a bit of time to do it properly. So I'm going to turn it down to 2. Carry on mixing this up, making sure that there's no onion going to stay in contact with the bottom of the pan long enough so that it browns. And I've just remembered in the ingredients bit that I did at the beginning of this video, I forgot to mention bay leaves, so watch along for the stage at which I add bay leaf. Okay, and that's it really, and I'll come back in 10 minutes or so. It's time to add the garlic. Okay, we're at the stage now where the mushrooms are beginning to release their water. So that is going to cool things down, obviously, and note how much they've shrunk. And this is the stage I like to add the garlic, because I want it to fry slightly, but I don't want it to, burn and go brown, just like the onions. So using the garlic press 3000, which I got off Amazon, which actually isn't bad. I'm going to add 3 cloves. Now you can vary this amount as much as you like. You can have as much as you like. If you love garlic, you can leave it out altogether. If you don't like garlic, it's up to you. I think it's really important to get across that recipes are just guides, and that you end up cooking what you like, not what you're told to like. It's like adapt them to your own taste. It's so important. Okay, and things are cooling down drastically now. The mushrooms really letting out their liquid, and we're going to let that carry on simmering probably for about 10 minutes more. Remember, we're on a very low heat. Right, we've got to the stage now, we're about 10 minutes later, where the mushrooms have released all their liquid. The onions and the mushrooms have been simmering in all that sort of mushroom juice. And we're just getting to the stage where it's nearly gone and it will start frying again, even though we're still on a very, very low setting. Right now, this is the time where we can add various things. Right now, if you want to, you can add flour at this stage. Just add some flour. If you want a thick soup at the end, let it quasi-fry for a couple of minutes, then add your stock a little at a time, mixing it up, and you'll have a nice thick outcome. But I'm not going to bother with flour because A, I don't mind the soup being nice and loose, and B, I've got a waistline to think about. The less I think about it, the better. And what we're going to do now is just simply add the vegetable stock cube. Here's one I made earlier. You can make, again, to make this soup to your specifications, make your own vegetable stock, how you like it. It's easy enough. I'm being lazy here. This is cooking for bachelors, we're lazy. Okay, so I can just add all the stock because there's no flour involved. I can just add it all at one time. And here's the ingredient I forgot to mention right at the beginning, which is a bay leaf. I'm going to add that bay leaf. And at this stage, salt and pepper. I like peppery soup, so I'm going to put quite a lot of pepper in now. I'll probably put some more in later as well. Salt. Bit of salt. And we're just going to bring that up to the simmer. And we're going to simmer it just to get everything nice and soft, and to infuse this with a bit of bay leaf flavour, which I quite like. It's full of, it's only a subtle flavour at the end. Again, if you put, if you love bay leaves, put a bunch in, or whatever you like in, whatever you want to infuse the soup with. And so we're just going to bring that up to a simmer, and then again turn it right down and simmer it again for about 10-15 minutes or something, just to let the bay leaf and whatever else you decide to add at this stage, your favourite flavours, infuse into what is going to be the soup. Okay, and I'll come back when that simmering is done. Okay, we've reached a stage now, we've got a slightly different camera set up here, where I've left it simmering for about 15 minutes. Everything's nice and soft. The veg stock cube has reduced, so we've got a nice concentration of flavour. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the bay leaf, which has hopefully infused itself into the veg stock. And I'm going to take it off the heat, turn off the heat. This is the end of it now. And now I'm simply going to add skimmed milk. About that much. You'll have to come to your own, what sort of proportions you like. I intend to just fill up a blender's worth, really. Right, so I've added a load of milk, so I'm going to add some more pepper and salt to season that. Again, I like it peppery, you may not, it's completely up to you. Bit of salt. And now we get to my unfavourite bit of the whole operation, in that we're going to blitz it. And this is the stage where I find out if I screwed the thing together right the last time and it's all watertight, or if in fact I've made a monumental cock up, which I have done in the past, and we get mushroom soup all over the counter. So, okay, this is a bit that I'm well capable of messing it up as well. Is pouring it into the actual liquidizer. Obviously trying to spill as little as possible. I'm just not patient enough, that's my problem. Right. Okay, bit of a mess there. But it doesn't seem to be coming out the bottom, that's a good sign. Bit of mushroom escape there. Plug it into the liquidizer. Right, at this stage, what I like to do is add lemon juice. So what I'll do is squeeze some in the top here using a fork. None of your fancy juice squeezers here. That's all you need is a fork. Just de-pip them obviously before you do this. There we go, that's the lemon juice added. Okay, well after a quick blitz and a quick cool down, this is what it looks like. It's not the most attractively coloured soup in the world, is it? I mean, you could tart it up with a bit of parsley or something if you want, but you know, being a bachelor, I'm hardly going to go to all that trouble. And there it is, and as usual, by a miracle, the usual miracle actually, it worked out at exactly the right amount for the casserole I had in mind. And it's very tasty. I mean, it tastes, I love it, but then it's cooked to my specifications. You can alter it to cook it to yours. And that's it, that's my mushroom soup recipe. Give it a go. It is really tasty and it's very economical, and it's just well worth putting the, if you've got a spare hour. And this is a sort of recipe, because of the amount of time that we spent, you know, simmering it on really low, you can let it look after itself for sort of 5 minutes, 10 minutes at a time, because everything's on, during the stages when everything's cooking on really low. So that's it, I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a whirl. Let me know in the comments, you know, what you thought of it if you try it out. As I say, if you want to know how to make croutons, which I'm going to be doing, have a look at my garlic soup recipe. And thanks very much indeed for watching. I'll see you next time.